so happy. So I have Herby, pronounce your last name,
Duverne.
Duverne,
Yep.
and Nicole Obi,
Yes.
and they run BECMA, Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. And I'm gonna just read a little of their bio, and then we're gonna get right into the conversation. Herby Duverne is president and CEO of the Wind Walker Group, a physical and cybersecurity firm. The company possesses a defense security services secret clearance, operates in multiple states, and currently holds contracts with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and several with the U.S. Department of Defense. Are you allowed to be on the show?
Depends what we're gonna say.
Okay, and so he has a lot of good stuff here, and we only have an hour. So Nicole Obi is the president and CEO of the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts, BECMA, whose mission is to drive economic equality, equity, and prosperity for Massachusetts to achieve inclusive growth through advocacy, programming, and strategic partnerships that enable Black-owned businesses and Black communities to thrive. She joined BECMA in 2020 as the Vice President of Member Experience and Engagement. She previously spent 12 years at Fidelity Investments, parting ways with the firm as Vice President of Customer Strategy and Engagement in 2018. She was also CEO of her own strategic consulting firm, Enterprise Advisors, after co-founding two venture-backed startup firms. So we have Nicole and Herby, and I'm so happy to have you all finally here, so you can see what we're doing here at Boston Praise Radio and TV and Boston Black News. And so, BECMA, BECMA has a lot going on, and they're doing a lot: entrepreneurship, commerce, ownership, placement. They have various different programs. They got a program called Back Office Support Services, BOSS. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
BECMA Community Investments. Electric Vehicle Kickstarter and Support. Yeah, I have to talk a little bit about that. Raise awareness. And the Mass Black Expo, which I love. That's a yearly event that's held at the convention center, where you can meet all types of folks with businesses, and I think each year it grows, right?
Yes.
Am I right? Each year it grows. So you tell us. Last stop. I didn't let you all know that Herb is actually the chair of BECMA. He just this year, right?
Yes, just
Yes.
started. Yeah, not
Yeah.
too long ago. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. So I'll start with you, Herb V. Tell us a little bit about you. Why BECMA? And
First of all, thank you, Priscilla, for having us here, and just want to make one quick correction about, when you say Nicole and I run BECMA, actually Nicole run BECMA.
okay.
Because she's sort of our leader, and I have a great opportunity to be in service to the organization, but also supporting our leader. I think many times this is what needed to be done to make sure that we have an incredible person in Nicole, and she's doing incredible work. Mm-hmm. So I had the opportunity to become the chair, voted by the board members to, and then I was thrilled to do that because I know Nicole was the one who's running the organization, because I think the organization is important, but also the leaders are important, right?
Exactly,
so we want to
exactly.
make sure we have the right leaders, and I'm just giving a lot of praise because she's an incredible person. I got involved in BECMA, many years ago, and the reason I did as a business person, I realized that there was no other organization like BECMA that was doing the work that needed to be done to ensure that Black business thrive, and we're pushing the envelope, and we make sure that the wealth gap is closed, because as we know, after the study that say $8 versus $200 $47,500. You know,
47,500.
that's why you know that number by you know that number by heart.
Yes.
So we realized that we needed to do that. So that's why I was thrilled to be a part of this organization, and also doing the work with Nicole and the other board members. You know, because we feel that Boston needed that organization. We needed that as black businesses to ensure that we have an organization that can advocate for us, that can push the envelope for us. And also, I feel that the reason that BECMA existed, we needed a coordinated organization platform to get the job done. Because if you look at all the other group, they have a coordinated organization that's pushed the work. So we had to stop, you know, as a business leader, advocate for myself only. Others advocate for themselves only. We needed an organization like BECMA to advocate for all of us. So that's why I'm thrilled to be here. So I'm thrilled to be a part of this organization.
Well, I'm glad that you're part of the organization as well. So, Miss Nicole.
Good morning, and thank you for having us on the show.
Yeah.
You know, you shared a little bit of my business background. I'll share a little personal. I grew up here in Massachusetts, grew up in Framingham. My mom is Jamaican, so I'm a Jamaican, and went through the public school, went to Hampton University, and then came back. Went to grad school. While I spent most of my career in business, as you described, I also studied while at MIT business, but I also studied under Mel King. So I have an urban planning degree, and so it feels like coming full circle now at this point in my career, having the opportunity to lead BECMA, really just combines the business and the urban planning, economic development work. And so I'm really happy to have the privilege to lead BECMA. I joined BECMA during Shogun Idowu's time. I know you were one of the original founders, co-founders of BECMA in 2015. And Shogun was the organization's first full-time executive director. And after Fidelity, I started consulting to BECMA and helping to lead some of the membership programs that I think we're going to talk about. And when he left to join the Wu administration, along with another member of the BECMA team, Jessica Pierre. They're both chiefs in her administration. One little small BECMA has two chiefs to this day. The board, of which Herby was a part of, asked me if I would lead BECMA, and I was happy to step up. And I've been leading the organization since January of 22. So.
Well, thank you for that background. I know I have a lot of this stuff written down, but I'd like for you all to talk about yourselves. That's why we're here, to talk about what you do, what BECMA does. And so I know it's a membership-based organization, right?
That's right.
Now, now is it just for members who is it you have to have a business to be a member, or could you be a member as an individual? How does that work?
Sure. So we are we are a member-based organization. That being said, the work that we do to help to build Black wealth, we don't really require membership. We prefer it, not so much from a revenue perspective, but because it's a better way for us to understand who you are, what you need, what are your opportunities. So we really encourage people to become members of BECMA so we can help to better advocate. We can better match you with opportunities and resources that we have available to you. But we are focused on Black-owned businesses, big and small, across the whole state, and so yes.
So you say across the state, so are all your board members, where your board members based? Are there's some here, some in different parts of Massachusetts?
That's correct. Everybody on the board is based in Massachusetts, but we have members from the Springfield area, from Worcester, of course, from Boston. So we're very deliberate about making sure that we have geographic coverage. We have, people that are in the nonprofit, for-profit space as well. Really want to make sure that our board represents the community, the Black community here in the Commonwealth.
Okay. So tell us about this back office support services. BOSS.
Boss.
Tell us, is this like a technical, what exactly does that do?
So BOSS is one of several programs that we provide at BECMA, but it is our core program. BOSS, like you said, stands for back office support. And what we know is that while Black businesses span many, many industries here in the Commonwealth, the one thing that they have in common, though, is the small size. And because of that small size, most businesses that are sole proprietors or 2 or 3 member employee firms, a lot of them just don't have an HR department. They don't have an operations team. They don't have a lot of the back office capabilities that allow them to be more efficient, effective, compliant. So we created the back office support program to help with providing digital tools and solutions. So whether it's subscriptions to platforms like Calendly or Google or iPads or Square credit card readers, that's some of the digital support that we provide. We do provide technical assistance. If you need a lawyer, you need an accountant, you need a marketer, you need a coach, you need a translator, we'll help you to find those resources. And we don't accept pro bono services from others. We give these services pro bono, but we want to make sure that we're able to ensure a certain level of quality. And so we hire all these people for the folks that we support. A lot of times we hire Black people to give that support. So for us, it's even better. We're really helping to circulate the dollars more. If you need an accountant, if you have an accountant that you love, and that's fine. But if you don't, we're going to introduce you to a Black accountant. We're going to pay that accountant for you. Another thing that we do in the back office support program, based on how we assess the businesses and where you are in your growth trajectory, we often provide working capital grants as well. And for many entrepreneurs, it's the first time they get any funds from anybody. And so those are really the 3 elements of our back office support program.
That's good. And you said, I heard, did you say, like if you were to hire, if someone needed an accountant,
Yes.
that you will pay for the accountant?
Yes.
So, question. Where do you all? So you all have to raise your money. You're a nonprofit, also, right?
We are a
Right.
nonprofit.
Okay.
We raise the money and we use that money to provide BOSS and other programs. Yes.
Okay. So there was the community investments. Let's
Yes.
talk about community investments.
Yes.
Okay. So it's designed to support ambition business owners with active contracts.
Yes.
So explain that.
So BECMA Community Investments, what we found is that after many years of doing BOSS programs, in the last 2 years, we've supported 600 businesses in Black-owned businesses in Massachusetts through our back office support program. So after pouring in and supporting these businesses and helping them improve their operational capacity, many of them are ready to contract, sell their goods and services, or even do more than they're already doing. The reason that we created BECMA Community Investments is it's a loan program that is specifically for BECMA members who have contracts, but they still can't get a bank loan. So you can imagine that what's happened, and we have done 5 of these loans, where one of our members got a contract from REI to make sports apparel, and he has the contract, but he needed $50,000 to help him to deliver the product. And he, even with a contract in hand, he wasn't able to get a bank loan.
Wow.
So that is a problem that we said, oh no, we can't get all the way to having REI wanting to do business with one of our members and then not be able to help. So $50,000 grant is more than BECMA can afford, but we've raised money through BECMA Community Investments so that we can loan these businesses these funds. And in that case, that entrepreneur was able to fulfill that REI contract, and they paid us back in 6 weeks. So now we
Wow.
can loan the money again.
Right.
And what
That's
we're
good.
showing the banks, well, one, what we're showing our members is that we got you. If we can, we're going to help you to deliver on these contracts. I always say nobody starts a business to get a grant, right?
Right.
People want to sell their goods and services. And if we can help you to do that, we will. We're also showing the banks,
Mm-hmm.
this is a good investment.
Right, right.
This is a good, this business is bankable. Credit scores, all of that, that's real, but we're showing you, we're demonstrating that these businesses are bankable. And so that's what the BECMA Community Investments Program is about. So
I'm sure that you have online businesses as well as brick and mortar.
yes.
So a majority of your businesses online, or because I know after COVID, when COVID came out and there was everything, a lot of people did stuff online and created businesses. A lot of people created businesses,
Yes.
and so
We saw a significant increase in business starts during the COVID period. We're not sure if people were pushed into becoming entrepreneurs or if they jumped into the opportunity. As far as what's the breakdown between who is online and who is real world, I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to lean towards that we still have more real world businesses, but the sole proprietors who offer services, they might still be operating out of their homes, or they might not have a storefront, but not everybody is selling their goods online. Some people are doing services and have like Herby's firm, Windwalker.
yeah.
And I will say that the beauty of BECMA as an organization is they're able to support all type of businesses, from the brick and mortar businesses or online business all the way to multi-million-dollar business like mine and other businesses that I know that's have hundreds of employees that's part of BECMA family. And I think that's the beauty of that. And I'm, again, I'm excited about this organization and really a privilege to be a part of it, because I realize what was needed when I started my business in 2012. I left organization and wanted to do a business, and there was nothing like this. There's all those bigger organizations out there that represented all businesses, but they weren't tailored to us and to me. And that was a really disadvantage for me then, and I have to really work hard to grow my business. But still, as a matter of fact, my story, I tell people, when I started my business in 2012, I couldn't really do well here. I had to go outside the state. So I have a big presence in D.C. and other states because I have to go out there. And I know a lot of people that have done the same thing, because we didn't have a
leave and then
BECMA.
come back.
Yeah, because we didn't have a BECMA to sort of help us to do what we have to do. We didn't have a BECMA to sort of advocate for us or give us the back office support that we need, or lend us that $50,000. I was one of those companies that's needed $50,000 or $75,000 with contract in hands. It was a really hard time for me to get that kind of loan because I didn't have past performance. I didn't have past businesses. Of course I didn't have. I started in 2012.
Right,
I didn't have anything past. And in BECMA, I can look at this thing in that lens and say, I want to help you and get this thing done. And the success of it is, like, Nicole saying, these companies, I mean, that's the news of the fact that a company paid that money in 6 weeks. That's great.
Yeah,
I mean, those are the things we want to celebrate. And there's a lot of these news, a lot of those things BECMA is doing. That's how incredible.
Well, I'm excited about where BECMA is going, because you're going to be celebrating 10 years next year, right?
That's right. November of 2025, we turn 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are super, super excited about this. Not only we have big dream for BECMA, because we want BECMA to be an organization to be there for a long, long time, way after Nicole and I time, because we want organization, because all the other organizations are there for a long, long time. We want BECMA to be the same thing, and then so we want everybody to be a part of that celebration, but also we want it to be focused on trying to ensure that BECMA lasts for a long time. And I'm just going to let Nicole talk more about how BECMA 10.
Yes. So, like we said, BECMA's turning 10 in November of 2025, and we, of course, want to celebrate our accomplishments and our successes, whether it's on the advocacy front or from programming or the wonderful events that we have, big and small, including the Mass Black Expo. But we also want to talk about the future, like Herby said, and make those investments. We have 3 areas that we're focusing on as we look to raise $25 million as part of BECMA at 10. One is we want to buy a home for BECMA. We want to set down roots and have a space to welcome the community in and execute our programming. In that space, we'll also be able to open our doors and really make sure that whether it's businesses, whether it's the community, that we're able to engage. BECMA Community Investments, what we just spoke about, is a second element of what we're interested in making sure that we're funding. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses out there that are trying to grow, need to grow, and we want to help them to do that. And so we need to continue to invest in a program like BECMA Community Investments. And then the third area is really just about, I have an 18-member team from all across the state, and they're wonderful. And the reason that we have been able to realize all this success on the policy front, on the programming front, is because we have a great team that runs these wonderful programs. And we want to continue to fuel our impact by raising funds for BOSS, for the supplier diversity, which is where we advocate and we work with the buyers, not just the Black-owned firms. But if the buyers aren't buying, it doesn't matter. So we want to fuel those programs. So we're excited. I guess this is a preview launch of BECMA at 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really excited about it. And I think it's an opportunity for everybody to get involved in supporting the work that we're doing to support the community and our growth.
So when you say you're trying to support, and we know you can't support everybody, right? But is there you talked about the person that needed the $50,000 for the contract. I mean, those are great stories,
Yes.
and I'm sure that you all promote those stories. But what about the person that needs got a $5,000 contract, or a $10,000 contract? And how do they get in touch with BECMA?
Well, I'll answer the last question first. The best way to get in touch with BECMA is through membership@becma.org. And that's not just how do you become a member. This is how to learn about what it is that we do at BECMA. We do focus a lot on businesses. So our mission that you read earlier is to help to build Black wealth. And you were right. As a small nonprofit, we can't help everybody equally. We know that Black business owners are 5 times wealthier than the rest of us, our peers. And so we are very focused on supporting Black businesses because we know that Black businesses employ Black people. We know that they're very generous and give back to the community. We know that we can pull the levers to be effective in supporting a smaller group of businesses to be successful in building wealth. And so that is an area that we are very focused on through our 4 pillars. That being said, when we talk about wealth, there are other elements of wealth that affect everybody. So that's things like home ownership. We do a lot of advocacy around that, even advocating to President Biden to eliminate student loan debt, which he's been doing, as much as he can, even though the Supreme Court is standing in his way. So we also do work around building wealth outside of supporting businesses, but most of the programming we do is for supporting businesses. So if you have a business, we want to know about you. We want to understand, what are your opportunities? What are your issues? And we want to support you. That's what we do. That is what we do.
Yeah.
And we do some of this work in partnership with others, but we really encourage people, don't wait till you have a problem to get to know us. Please call us. And let's learn about you. And like we've said, we've supported hundreds and hundreds of businesses so far, and that is going to continue.
Yeah, and we have supported businesses with grant as well.
Yes.
So those $5,000 you're talking about, Priscilla, those things being done, not just the loan piece, but also grant money from $5,000 to $10,000, and anywhere that we can support Black businesses, and we have the opportunity to do that, we do that.
What's your take on reparations in the reparations committee, or what they're trying to do?
Well, there are a lot. So we have a policy team. So if I could take a step back and tell you a little bit about BECMA. So we have a phenomenal policy team. We have a membership team that executes these programs. We have a development team, an operations team. And so we have a policy team that's doing research on reparations. And the reason is that there are different definitions of what do we mean when we talk about reparations. So yeah, there's definitely an aspect about that around wealth building, and because of that, we are interested. We want to get involved in that, but it's kind of, we have to know which reparations efforts are we talking about.
Okay, I'm talking about the American Freedmen. There was the American Freedmen Bureau, and they talk of there's people from the South, which we know. If your family was from the South, more than likely you were from slavery. And so there's going to be a hearing on Wednesday at City Council that they are actually going to be talking about the American Freedmen, because it seems like us being Black people, right? We really don't have a language. We don't have a home, really. We don't have nothing. Basically, we work. Reparations we have a reparations board so I just want to read this real quick. It says, join Southern Black folks gathering together for the myth of absence at City Hall next Wednesday at noon. Have you been looking for your Southern Black community? We're right here. Join in celebration of our Southern Black roots in American freedmen history as we gather together and debunk the myth of absence. Register now. You don't want to miss this. So we're asking people to come down and be a part of this movement, because we're lumped together, and as far as I'm concerned, Black American people are always at the bottom. We're always pushed to the bottom. And I have friends from all over the world, different nationalities, different places. But it just seems like we Black Americans we're just lost, for lack of a better word, and we're always fighting. We're always in the struggle. That's why I'm glad to see a BECMA rise. I remember, Herby, when you did that challenge of the
Greenwood Challenge.
Yeah, the Greenwood Challenge, Tulsa. We have proved that we can do for ourselves. If people aren't bombing us, if they ain't lying on us, if they're not cheating us, and they have the reparation commission, which the mayor appointed, and it's almost over, and it's like, well, what's come of it? They've hired researchers to literally do what some of the commissioning people are already doing. So we need to make it. We're not. Black people used to be a protected class, but we're no longer a protected class. So how do we become a protected class? The American freedmen. So I just wanted to, throw that out to you all, because things are happening in the city. We got a state election.
Yes.
And nobody even really, who knows who's running for what, And then next year and then in November, we better pray because
Pray and vote.
pray and vote. Yeah,
That's
take
right.
your souls
Indeed.
to the polls.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And so that's what we're trying to do, is really educate our people and to be able to get because we deserve reparations. We built this country free. We lost so many of our people, and people tell us to forget about slavery, or that slavery was a training job program. I mean, this foolishness that comes out of these people's mouths is just ridiculous. I was born and raised in Boston. My family came from Alabama, and I am proud to be a black woman in America. But, however, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I
Yes.
really am. I'm tired of the foolishness that goes on in our city, in the state, and the country. There's no reason why we can't really come together and really do some good work. If you look at Mass and Cass, all they did was move it from one side of from Mass Ave to Melina Cass, and it trickulates up and through our community. There's so many things that are injustice that we have to face on a daily basis. So, what does BECMA have to say about that?
I mean, my take is, that's the struggle for our people in this country, right? We have, as you say, mass and caste issues and other issues going on, and our school systems and so forth, and there's a plethora of issues going into our community and everything else, and again, as a business person, and I think. First of all, there's a lot of organization out there that's doing a lot of great work, including you, Priscilla, and all the things that you do. But we also understand that, BECMA role is sort of focusing on the business side aspect of that. Not to say we don't know these issues going on. We understand, as a matter of fact, many times BECMA is doing, through the policy team, work toward those issues. But at the same time, we also, want to make sure that we let people know that we do have, a part of our community that's sort of thriving, and we want to continue supporting them through businesses and entrepreneurship and grant and loan and all those kind of stuff. So I agree with you. I think that's the complexity
Yes.
of us as a
Yeah.
community, right? We have all of those things, but I don't want, while we know all these other horrible things and bad things going on, but I also want to point that, we really have an organization that's sort of focusing on a different aspect of our community, which is entrepreneurship, black businesses, because many times I think that's one way, again, for me, as someone that's sort of worked for people before and in doing my business, I realize the importance of having your own companies, having your own businesses, and also the story of some of our people doing incredible things. So we want to sort of, point those out as at the same time realizing that, we still have a long, long way to go as a community, as people.
I agree.
He said it all. I mean,
I just, I try to support my community
Yeah.
in whichever way I can. And I think having this broadcast every Thursday is one way of getting information out to people
That's
who
right.
otherwise may not know about. Because there's a lot of things, and you say, "Oh, that happened. Oh, I didn't know.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
That's right.
When did that happen?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things that we don't know. The Bible tells us that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. And so that's why we have to stay engaged and encourage and work together.
yes.
I know before Shagun went to work for the city, he was in their case. You know, the state and the city. You know, he didn't bite his tongue.
That's right.
You know, he
Yeah.
said what he had to say. He has gotten a little quieter.
Yeah.
I must admit, I love him to death. But you know, and I understand that, especially with businesses. You can't focus on everything. I know that. You know, you have to focus and be good at one thing. Just like with your security, you know, the
Yes.
homeland security and all that.
Yeah.
But there's something that it affects us all.
Yes.
And that is white supremacists.
Yes.
You know, that is racism,
Yes.
right? And it affects us all. And do we have a caller? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Priscilla. How are you? And good morning, BECMA guest.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Congratulations on 10 years. And I've heard of you guys, and I've seen some of your work. And I'm actually glad you're on the radio station, because that's the reason why I'm calling, to find out, now that you've been on the radio station, and I'm sure you've heard the radio station, how is it that BECMA can help keep the radio station running and support our efforts?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. This is what we do.
Yeah.
This radio station would be, fits within our model of the types of organizations that we support. We support mostly for-profit businesses, but we support nonprofits as well through our programming. And so we would love to learn more about what your needs are, what your opportunities are, just like with everybody else that is a Black-led, Black-run organization here in Massachusetts.
And also, I will also say to caller that, this is the support is the fact that we here. That's a testament of our support, right? Priscilla, I know we talk about this. It's like, yep, we're gonna be here, and then that's the thing. And I will also say, the bottom line is, for people to just like, stay on top of us, again, hold us accountable, because even if you're not a direct members, BECMA is part of you, it's part of the family. So we want to make sure our organization thrive, and when we're not doing something, let us know how we can do better. The other way we can be most supportive of this, and we can, Priscilla, please,
Why
you know
you
how
call me Priscilla?
you know how to get to us.
I sure do.
So what we really want to do is for you to know how to get to our members, and then get more of our members to tell the story about their businesses and how they're doing and the work they're doing within the community. I think that would be a great thing.
Yeah, maybe Beckman can have a broadcast, right, Pastor?
Right.
Well, for your members to come on and talk, because who knows
Absolutely.
that this is a good platform for
Yes.
members to be able to,
Black businesses
yeah.
talk about their businesses. Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, it
So-
just. Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
We have a lot of people that come on and say that's how they're supporting us, but we have politicians that come on, especially around election time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we support you," but not one dime comes from their office or anything like that. So, for people to say that just because they're invited on and they're on our station and stuff like that, saying that's how they're supporting us, which is actually the opposite. We're supporting you that way. So it's very important that people who come on our station actually have a financial stake in it as well. So I'm glad you guys saying that we need to stay on you guys, and that there are ways for you to help us financially. So I'm sure that our listeners and our supporters will stay on us to stay on you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I will stay on you guys.
Oh, I know that.
I believe we have a caller, another caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. This is Carrie Mays. I'm a youth activist in the city of Boston. I helped organize the biggest Black Lives Matter protest for George Floyd. And there was a question I feel like, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah.
Okay, great. There was a question, I think, that Ms. Priscilla asked about American freedmen, which are descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. I've heard about, the movement, and I've also heard that, there's a movement on the horizon brewing about American freedmen because it seems like descendants of U.S. chattel slavery are not heard, they're not seen. And in other municipalities around their reparations efforts, I noticed that they practice intersectionality within their diaspora economics. So I'm wondering, or in other municipalities, they also, instead of identifying by race, because race can in a way lump people together, that doesn't expose equity, right? We're not making sure that everybody's unique needs are met within the diaspora. So I'm wondering, because they also practice identifying by cultural heritage instead of identifying by race. And I think it's really important that we have racial unity. And at the same time, I'm wondering, does BECMA have an intersectionality practice, or in what ways do they practice intersectionality of valuing the diverseness within the diaspora and making sure that all of us in the diaspora are being seen and heard and invested in?
It's a great question. So I'm not going to speak about reparations in particular today. Like I said, there are several efforts underway, and we need to just continue to study and see what the different proposals are and the path forward there. As far as intersectionality goes, for us, we as the Black Economic Council of Mass, we think about all Black people, whether they are Black Americans, whether they're immigrants. We really think about everybody. We do appreciate that different Black people are having different experiences. There was a study recently by the Boston Foundation that really talked about the immigrant community and how it's very large. It's outside of the geographic boundary of Boston, but it's comparable in size. It's also very diverse. So this is complicated, but to make it simple, to me, Black is Black. If you identify as Black, you're Black. And so, when we pursue economic opportunities, we really are thinking about all Black people, whether they're Black Americans or they're immigrants or everything in between. So that's just a very high level way to simplify a complex situation and say Black is Black.
It is complex. It is.
I mean, I'm a like I said, my mom, my father is a Black American, my mom's Jamaican, so I am Black.
I'm Black as well.
Yeah, when I was growing up, and my mom came here in the 60s and she faced discrimination. Nobody was discriminating against her because she was Jamaican.
Yes. I mean, it is an interesting conversation, especially as someone was born in Haiti. So I do understand that conversation. And one of the way I think many time people, as Black people, we have to watch out for is how they try to divide us and create. And sometimes if he's not Black from different country, is skin color from, even from Haiti, the same thing. All those people are Black, but if you are lighter skin and you're somehow not Black. Yeah. So there's all those kind of craziness going on. But at the end of the day, I feel that one of the things we need to watch out for as people, and especially that's what BECMA is doing, is how do we ensure that economically our people are doing better? So how do we making sure that we got the money to do the things we want to do, to take care of our kids, our family, to have the legacy we can pass it to our next generation. Yep. If we don't focus on this, sometimes all these other conversation is a way to take our eyes off the prize. And then we're kind of thinking about something else. And the next thing we know, 20, 30 years later, we're still where we are.
And that's
what we got. That's what we got to change. And that's what BECMA is so important, because BECMA's focus is how do we ensure that we build Black wealth. This is like and we're very zone focused on contracts and ensure that people have the advocacy for that. Make sure people got money. That's what we're trying to do, so we can make sure that our people from a financial economy perspective, our lives need to be better than the people that came before us. I mean, that's sort of the goal.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Sister Priscilla.
Hey, good morning, Grace. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having the show. Thank you for hosting BECMA this morning. I'm calling to urge BECMA in reference to first of all, Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad. Honorable Marcus Garvey. So that's one thing. But we have two issues here. We have the Africans, the black people who were brought here as slavery. So we have to pursue that agenda. But BECMA, okay, in terms of the city of Boston did a diversity study. The Boston Globe did a study and found that black people only get 1% of the contracts. And of course, they said we only get $8. So although these research was done, nothing has been rectified. So the city is continuously rolling out procurement. And the city agreed that they racially discriminated against black people in the procurement area for the 200 years that Boston existed. So what is the city going to do to rectify that? When the city rolls out procurement, the city says, okay, we gave so many to Dorchester, we gave so many to Roxbury, whatever. But the city does not identify the race of the people who are receiving the procurements or contracts or grants. And so we have to urge the city, since they racially discriminated against a race of people, that they need they do have in their contract forms, they do have a form that asks you questions about your ethnicity and race. But when they do reporting, they just say, oh, in Dorchester they gave that. That doesn't mean that black people are getting any of these procurements. So how are we to know if the procurement system is fair? And so we don't know. And that's the only way that we are going to know. And we need to know that. If you're talking about black wealth, you have to talk to the city about the procurement process. And then you have to talk to the state about their procurement process, because we're still being excluded. And until we have to have a way, which is that form that they have every contractor to sign, they already know. They already provide that information, but that information is not shared. So that's one thing. And another thing,
Can I
the
just
freedmen,
address
what
that
you're
before
saying,
we move on to the
Sister
next topic?
Priscilla,
I'm sorry.
we shouldn't have to. So we shouldn't have to, when we're going after contracts and grants, we shouldn't have to compete against neighborhoods and races of people who have always benefited from the city's procurement. And we shouldn't have to compete against new residents to our city. The city needs to set aside procurement from each of their procurements for
Grace, I don't mean to cut you off, but this is a much deeper conversation.
I just want to say that, and that's all I have to say. So,
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. All right.
You're
welcome.
So I'd love to address the first part of Grace's question. In 2021, the BECMA did sue the city of Boston over that disparity study. It was actually less than 0.5% that the city had spent on black providers.
Whatever came of that?
Shagun, when Mayor Wu came into office, she ran on equity. She ran on these issues. And when Shagun left BECMA, he went to run the city of Boston's economic development and opportunity, I forget what it's called, economic opportunity department. In her first 18 months working with BECMA and other organizations, Mayor Wu more than doubled their spend with Black and Latino business owners. They got up to, I believe it's 14% spend under Mayor Wu. So there has been a wholesale shift in the approach around procurement at the city of Boston. We still have more work to do, but it has changed significantly. I'll also say that I am the chair of the board for the state Supplier Diversity Office. So
congratulations.
yes, for small and diverse businesses. And so we have, by executive order, first with Governor Baker and now with Governor Healy, we are working with the state on improving their supplier diversity outcomes, and we are making progress on that front as well. So we are making some progress. I'm really happy to be able to share that. But the city, the mayor just is a great example of when leaders want to make a change, they can make a change, because she made a change in 18 months and the results are what they are.
And also, I think representation is important, right? Having people like Jessica Pierre and Sugon and all these people, and then also Nicole doing the work that she's doing at the state level, I think that's give us a better opportunity, a better shot at the apple, really, to try to make sure that we push the envelope and get things done. So I do agree with Nicole. I think there's a lot of progress on that front. We got a long way to go, and I'm sure that the mayor herself will probably agree to that. There's more work to do, and that's the
There's
bottom
always
line.
going to be more work to do.
There's more work to do.
There's
So-
always going to be more work to do.
And can I just add one more thing? Part of what the work that we do, our pillars, is based upon placing Black people on decision-making roles on boards and commissions and in management. So right now we have 30 plus board seats, and either led by me, a member of my team, the board, or our members. So this is another way for us. So we can't be in every room, and we want to get people who understand the mission of what we're trying to accomplish. And so that's another reason to reach out to BECMA. If you're interested in a board, let us know, and we will advocate to make that happen. It's
I'm
important.
already on the board, and I'm not happy, and that's the BEC, the Boston Employment Commission.
All right.
And they, it's been an issue for a long time, and we have talked to it. It just seems like there's no answer. We sit on the BEC commission. These contractors and developers continue not to be in compliance with the new ordinance that we helped write in 2017. And so it's just, Boston is racist. Let's call it for what it is. And Michelle Wu I admit she has done some good things, but she's also done some bad things. I'm sorry, things that the community is not happy with. And so I'm not going to sit up here and give her a bunch of kudos for some of the stuff that she's did. I will give her kudos for what she's done, but then there's still some stuff. And what, next year's election year,
Yeah.
So what happens, you know?
If you're sitting on a board that you're not happy with, we would definitely want you to reach out to our policy team. So it's policy@becma.org. So please do that. If we don't know what the issues are, we can't help, but we would love to know more. So please,
Yeah.
And this goes to all your listeners as well. If you're serving on a commission or a board, please reach out to us.
All right.
Okay.
And this is membership. Oh, we're rounding up, right? We'll have to have you back because we got to finish this conversation.
Yes,
I know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's an hour.
Yeah.
Time goes by fast.
it does, and I want to make sure we invite everybody to our expo, October 25th and 26th at the Convention Center. So
we gotta register.
massblackexpo.com, and this is our 6th annual, and we're looking forward to having the community come out again.
And also our social media, for people to follow us on social media, because BECMA's always on the social media and all the different platforms. So
Thank you for having us.
this
Thank
is
you
really
all for
awesome,
coming.
Priscilla. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's a chance.
to see our news, bad news is coming to you. Extra, extra, read all about it. Extra, extra, tune in to see